Alright guys, so I want to talk about this Jack Dorsey interview that he did with Joe Rogan, because I'm pretty sure they've A, lied, or B, seriously misrepresented the truth when it comes to at least Alex Jones. And I'll tell you what I mean in a sec. So, in case some of you don't know, Jack Dorsey was on Joe Rogan's podcast for Round versus 2. It was Jack Dorsey, Vijaya, Gadde, I'm getting that name wrong, I apologise, and Tim Pool. Now, obviously, Tim Pool was sort of the surrogate, sort of representing everybody that's been banned or shadow banned or censored on Twitter. And he was basically there to stick up for the internet, so to speak, so no pressure whatsoever. And it was basically Jack Dorsey and this Vijaya, I'm getting that name wrong, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, and her answering questions about censorship on the internet. Now, this is actually a really, really good idea. This is actually something that I tweeted at Joe Rogan months ago, right after the original Jack Dorsey thing. I said, why don't you get Tim Pool and or Luke Wadarsky from We Are Change to get on the show, and they can talk about censorship, and then when you have Jack Dorsey on there, he can ask them the questions. I'm not saying Joe saw that, but who knows? Maybe he did. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the one thing that really, really stuck out from everything, and the two things that really stuck out was, the first thing was that they didn't really seem to have a lot of answers. Every time Tim Pool sort of poked at Twitter regarding online censorship with conservatives or online censorship in general, why is it there's this person gets banned but this person doesn't, their standard response was, quote, we're working on it. We know we need to do better, but we're working on it. And that was their response. And to me, it was a bit of a cop-out. It really, really was. Because at the end of the day, we're working on it is not a real... Like, they sit there and they'll literally say how important it is not to ban people from their platform. They literally go on about how they don't want to ban anybody, how it's so important to keep people on the platform and to open Discord, which... Sure, whatever. Twitter wants open Discord, sure. But at the end of the day, every time Tim Pool gave you an example of what was wrong, for example, you know, you're going through and you're forcing your political ideology regarding him, her, she, they, transgender pronouns, you are forcing them on conservatives who do not believe the exact same thing. Now, that was just one example he gave, and their response was, yeah. Pretty much, yeah, was their response. Or, we know we need to work on this, or whatever it may have been. Like, it was just infuriating because after time after time after time of being shown example after example of what they're doing wrong, their response is, yeah, we know we need to get better, we're working on it. And then when they tried to get a time frame out of him, like, you know, like 6 months or whatever it may be, Jack Dorsey was like, oh, well, not that fast. Yeah, but, you know, we're just going to keep banning people off the platform for the next 6 or 12 months while we're working on it. Right? That's the idea. Okay, cool. Good luck with that. But the second thing that really bugged me was when they were talking about Alex Jones. And I'm going to play a clip of the video here so you guys get to see it. Now, as you see, Joe Rogan Experience, this is actually from the Joe Rogan's show. This is not like doctored or anything like that. And if you want the timestamp, it's at 30 minutes and 34 seconds. So let's play this for you right now and you'll get to hear what I mean.
PR constraints. That is not how
So why did you ban Alex Jones?
We can get into that.
You want to get into that?
Yes. Absolutely.
Joe, you ready for Alex Jones?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, I've been ready for Alex Jones.
Let me pull this up.
Well, let me say this. The reason I bring him up is that Oliver Dorsey, one of the lead reporters covering Alex Jones and his content, said on CNN that it was only after media pressure did these social networks take action. So that's why.
Now, that was true. What Tim Pool is saying there is 100% truth. And in fact, Twitter themselves even turn around and admit that it was only after things were brought to their attention after the fact. They're literally about to say that right now. So when they turn around and say, the CNN, the Dorsey, and all these guys turn around and say, we led a campaign, they're right. They are absolutely right, because they've literally just admitted to that.
I bring him up specifically because it sort of implies you were under PR constraints to get rid of him.
I think if you look at the PR that Twitter went through in that incident, it wouldn't be that we looked good in it.
You have to
and that's not at all why we took action on this.
Sorry, Vijaya. You have to look at the full context and the spectrum here, because one of the things that happened over a weekend is what Alex mentioned on your podcast with him. He was removed from the iTunes podcast directory. That was the linchpin for him, because it drove all the traffic to what he said basically zero.
That is irrelevant to him being banned off Twitter. Great side set. But guess what? Fucking not relevant. Absolute no relevance to why you banned him off Twitter yourself. The question Tim is asking is, why did you ban Alex? And your first response is, well, you need to have a look at what happened over that weekend. No, you don't. You don't fucking need to look at it, Jack. Okay? At the end of the day, the question is, why did you ban Alex Jones? That was the question. Not what anybody else did, but why did you do it?
Immediately after that, we saw our peer companies, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, also take action. We did not. We did not, because when we looked at our service and we looked at the reports on their service, we did not find anything in violation of our rules. Then we got into a situation where suddenly a bunch of people were reporting content on our platform, including CNN, who wrote an article about all the things that might violate our rules that we looked into.
Literally, you just admitted to it, Jack. You've just admitted that you were under pressure from CNN and the left, we're guessing it was the progressive left, who went through everything that he had said after you had literally confirmed that he hadn't broken the rules. He hadn't broken the rules until they went through and started dredging up things and made us look bad, and then all of a sudden he had magically broken the rules. Okay, maybe they missed something. Maybe they weren't aware of every single thing that he had said. But at the end of the day, why did you give him a clean bill of health on Twitter beforehand, and now all of a sudden, now they're reporting everything that presumably you've already seen, and you're still... Now he's bad. Now he's banned. Interesting, isn't it? Let's keep going.
And we gave him one of the warnings, and then we can get into the actual details. But yeah, we did not follow. We resisted just being like a domino with our peers because it wasn't consistent with our rules and the contract we put in before our customers.
So what was it that made you ban him?
So there were 3 separate incidents that came to our attention after the fact that were reported to us by different users.
After the fact that were reported to us after the fact by different users. Literally admitting that they had a hate group after Alex Jones. That a whole bunch of people, most likely CNN as well, because Jack's already touched on that, were the ones that led to the banning of Alex Jones. Is this harassment, Jack Dorsey? Is this harassment of Alex Jones? Because you've already spoke about how harassment is against your terms of service on your platform. Now you're admitting to people literally flagging everything Alex does. That seems like it might be harassment, but let's keep going.
There was a video that was uploaded that showed a child being violently thrown to the ground and crying. So that was the first one.
A video, he retweeted a video or something. What was it, his child? Was it his child being thrown to the ground? No. Was it something that maybe had been newsworthy, which is what I think Joe Rogan's about to touch on? Most likely what it was. Oh my God, a media personality retweeted a video of child abuse or some child being thrown to the ground, even if you want to get, babyish on that. But at the end of the day, Alex retweeted this, probably saying something along the lines of, look at this shit, or whatever it may have been. We don't know, because he doesn't have a friggin' Twitter account anymore. We can't see it. But anyway, not really ban-worthy. And Joe Rogan actually pushes back on that. But keep going.
Second one was a video that we viewed as incitement of violence. I can read it to you. It's a little bit of a transcript, but now it's time to act on the.
This is the important thing. Listen to what she says here, and we will actually show you the real transcript. This is where I think they've misled or flat out lied to the audience.
Enemy before they do a false flag. I know the Justice Department's crippled a bunch of followers and cowards, but there's groups, there's grand juries, you called for it. It's time politically, economically, and judiciously, and legally, and criminally to move against these people. It's got to be done now. Get together the people you know aren't traitors, aren't cowards, aren't helping their frickin' bets, hedging their frickin' bets like all these other assholes do, and let's go, let's do it. So people need to have and then there's a bunch of other stuff, but at the end, so people need...
Whoa. Bunch of other stuff. Interesting. What was the other stuff that you didn't read out? But we'll get to that, don't worry.
Need to have their battle rifles ready and everything ready at their bedsides, and you've got to be ready because the media is so disciplined in their deception.
Right. Now, so we actually have that original archive, and thank you very much for one of my guys on the actual Discord who actually posted this. I don't want to say your name because I don't want to get a whole bunch of leftists after you, but you know who you are. And thank you very much for your help, by the way, dude. But here, this is what Alex Jones has actually said. Now it starts with you and the US military. I know you understand who the cohort operatives and the traitors are, to understanding who's trying to take the First Amendment, who's trying to bankrupt the country, who's trying to shut down everything, who went ahead and admitted they wanted to bankrupt healthcare in America and bring us to our knees. We're under attack, and you know that. And you pointed out mainstream media is the enemy. But it's time to act on the enemy before they do a false flag. I know the Justice Department's crippled, and this is where she starts with her thing. A bunch of followers and cowards. But there's a group, there's a grand juries, you called it for it, and it's time politically and economically and judicially and legally and criminally to move against these people. It's got to be done now. Get together the people that aren't traitors and that aren't cowards and that aren't hedging their frigging bets like these other assholes do. Let's go, let's do it, because they're coming. Now in your wisdom, this is the part she's left out. Now in your wisdom, you may be playing possum and waiting for them to come in. But America needs to know that they've got their little pathetic commie red teams ready. And they've got their targets picked out. The sheriffs, the judges, the police sheriffs, the patriots, the veterans, the talk show hosts, everybody. And everyone's going to be amazed when they come and those cowards come in, and it's going to hit in the middle of the night. They're coming and they're coming and they're coming. So, he also wrote, they think that they can take down America. This is it. So people need to have their battle rifles ready, everything in their bedsides, and you go and be ready because the media is so disciplined in their deception. Antifa attacked these people at the White House, beat up reporters, beat up women, children, no coverage, and they've got their discipline, folks. They've got their criminal discipline because they're a bunch of followers. What he is literally saying here is at the end of the day, and the important thing out of this is, now your wisdom, you may be playing possum, waiting for them to come in. Everyone's going to be amazed when they come and these cowards come in and it's going to hit in the middle of the night. He is literally talking about them coming into your house in the middle of the night and trying to lock you up, trying to arrest you, trying to kill you. This is him talking about having your battle rifles ready quote, when it comes to self-defense of your property. This is not him going out and inciting violence. This is not Alex Jones turning around saying, at the end of the day, let's go and kill a bunch of people. This is him saying, protect yourselves. Take care of yourselves. And when they come for you in the night, which they will, defend yourself. That's what he is talking about. That is what he is saying. Vast different than what she's actually claiming on this podcast. But we'll keep going. She talks about it.
So this is, you're saying that this is a call to violence against the media.
That's what it sounded like to us at the time. And there have been a number.
That sounded to her like a call to violence against the media. That to me sounds like it's self-defense. That to me says that if you're at home and someone breaks into your house to try and arrest you, he literally is talking about Antifa and everything like that. He's talking about the commies. He's literally saying, if they come for you in the middle of the night, defend yourselves. It is self-defense. But, hey, they need an excuse, I suppose, to ban him, didn't they?
Of incidents of violence against the media. And again, I take my responsibility for what happens on the platform and how that translates off platform very seriously. And that felt like it was an incitement to violence.
So if he only tweeted the incitement to violence, he would have been fine?
If he only
tweeted that posted that transcript saying, get your battle rifles ready, you wouldn't have deleted his account.
Again, context matters to him. It's not about one thing. So we'd have to look at the entire context of what's going on.
So I'm asking, was that egregious enough for you to say that alone?
That wasn't
just number two.
Right. So then I guess the question is, what was the video context of the kid being thrown to the ground? Was it newsworthy?
We obviously didn't think so, and depicting violence against a child is not something that we would allow on the platform.
Even if it's news content?
If it was, there are certain types of situations where if you were reporting on, war zone and things that might be happening, we would put an interstitial on that type of content that's graphic or violent, but we didn't feel that that was the context here.
Well,
So guys, in case you're wondering what's the video that she's talking about, we actually have a copy of that, and we can actually bring that up for you right now. It was actually sort of news, not really, but sort of. Here it is here. So a video of boy being brutally pushed to the ground by an adult goes viral but divides the internet. A man has been caught on camera shoving a boy to the ground, but it's not all it seems, with the video dividing opinions. So a man came under fire for violently pushing a 10-year-old boy to the ground at a park. The boy, who had been egging the man on for some minutes, is seen holding his face and screaming after the shove, claiming the incident was child abuse. The viral video is divided social media because when you watch the full version taken by witnesses at the park in the United States, you can see the boy won't give up his attempts to get the man to react. Now, what Alex actually went through and actually posted was reportedly, this is how you prevent liberalism. Now, to back up what they're actually saying here, if you're going... How to prevent liberalism, a public service announcement. Here Jones mocks a little kid who is shown being pushed to the ground by an adult male. We're presuming this is the video that he was talking about. It's a joke. It was a bit of tongue-in-cheek. And for them to actually sit here in this and say, we do not support any sort of child abuse. Okay, what about the Covington kids? You literally had mainstream media calling for these kids to be hurt. One of them actually went through and said, one of the leftists said that anybody that punched the kid would get a blowjob. That is violence against children. Did you ban her account? But context, right? Yeah, context, of course. Context on what side of the political divide she's on. That's what you mean. But let's keep going.
There's a video that's been going around, that was going around a few 4 or 5 weeks ago. The one where the girls were yelling at that big giant guy, and the guy punched that girl in the face, and she was like 11 years old. I saw that multiple times on Twitter. That was one of the most violent things I've ever seen. This giant man punched this 11-year-old girl in the face. Mm-hmm. And that was that removed from Twitter?
I don't know. I would have to go see if anyone reported it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I don't know. We don't support any abuse of child or any child abuse or any sort of child endangerment on our site. Mind you, the left can go through and call for Covington kids to be attacked. We can literally have a video where a girl gets punched by this huge 7-foot giant, whatever he was. I didn't even see the video, but presuming what Joe Rogan's saying here is truth. We don't know about that. But, Alex is bad. But we don't have bias. Right, sure. Tell us again.
I think one of the issues here is, do you
want me to get to the third one?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the third strike that we looked at was a verbal altercation that Alex got into with a journalist, and in that altercation, which was uploaded to Twitter, there were a number of statements using "eyes of the rat," even more evil-looking person. He is just scum. You're a virus to America and freedom. Smelling like a possum that climbed out of the rear end of a dead cow. You look like a possum that got caught doing some really, really nasty stuff, in my view. So there was a bunch of
That's
verbal,
enough? Really? That's hilarious.
pattern and practice, but it was a verbal altercation that was posted on our platform.
So
it was a verbal altercation from someone who had gone through and led a campaign to get him banned off social media. So Alex Jones confronted him about it. And by the way, the whole time that Alex was doing it, Jack Dorsey was laughing. He really didn't seem to give two shits. So, where's the victim in this? Because apparently Jack Dorsey, not Jack Dorsey. The CNN guy. I forget his name now. He's so memorable. I forgot his name. But yeah, the CNN contributor, I think it was CNN that he was confronting, actually went through and was laughing about it and was not really giving two shits. You know, he didn't call security. He didn't ask for Alex to get out of his face. He didn't ask for anybody to escort Alex out of the building or anything like that. So where is the victim in this victimless crime? By the way, this is the same guy who, mind you, has led a campaign of harassment against Alex Jones. Jesus Christ, Alex confronts some guy who has been harassing him for years, calls him a bunch of names, without physically altering or physically touching him or anything like that, just calls him names, gets in his face, and that is harassment. Mind you, we won't talk about the harassment campaign the opposite person has led against other people. Okay, that makes sense. I'm glad Twitter isn't biased about this.
So we took the totality of this, having been warned that we have rules against abuse and harassment.
We'll get to the totality. We'll wrap it up in a sec, but yeah.
Of individuals. We saw this pattern in practice. 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, and we made a decision to permanently
And so
suspend him.
that last one was on Periscope. Is that what it was that he broadcast through?
I think it was originally on Periscope, but it was also reposted from multiple related accounts onto Twitter.
So we can agree with you when you say these things like, Alex said this, it sounds like a threat. He was berating this person, saying awful things. But ultimately, your judgment is the context. You say we have to pay attention to the context. We're just trusting that you made the right decision.
Well, I'm giving you as much facts as I can give you here. And I think that this is the real hard part of content moderation at scale on global platforms. It's not easy, and I don't think Jack or I would tell you that it's easy.
It's a preposterous volume you guys have to deal with. And that's one of the things that I wanted to get into with Jack when I first had him on, because when my thought, and I wasn't as concerned about the censorship as many people were, my main concern was, what is it like to start this thing that's kind of for fun, and then all of
So wrapping up. Okay, so what they're saying is Alex got banned for. Alex got banned for tweeting the video with the little kid being pushed to the ground, saying this is how you prevent liberalism, which is a bit of tongue-in-cheek, a bit of trolling. He got in trouble, he got a strike, because he went through and advocated or advocated for self-defense in his house. He's basically said in the article, which we've already read out, that if they come for you, get your battle rifles ready. If they come for you in the middle of the night, defend yourself. That is the gist of what he is saying there. And so he's not calling for violence. He is literally saying you might have to defend yourself. And the third thing he got in trouble for was going off at a CNN contributor who had been harassing him for years, mind you. This is the same one who has admitted to getting him banned off the platform, getting him banned off Facebook, Twitter, or not Twitter, I'm sorry, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Apple, iTunes, all these places. This is the same one who said, yeah, I got Alex banned, yeah! And then when Alex confronted him and Alex got a little heated and called him a bunch of bad words, he was banned off the platform. Does this seem like it might go the other way? Anybody? Does anybody else watching this video sit there and think, boy, the liberals, they get banned for this sort of shit all the time. The progressive left, for example, they've always been banned for harassing people on the internet. You know, they get banned for just as much as the conservatives do. Or does everybody else watching this video, which is where I've tend to think that this might be an example of, I don't know, how do you call it? Bias. Because that's what I got from this whole thing. I got from this whole video, this whole presentation, this whole 3 hours and 25 minutes, which I've watched twice now, by the way, that at the end of the day, Twitter is biased. And when Tim Pool pushed back on their not biased agenda, it was consisting of a response of, we need to do better, we're not perfect, we're working on it. Okay, let us know after you've banned everybody from the platform how you're not biased anymore. Oh wait, you would be because there's no one left. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think that Jack Dorsey, Vijaya, Gadde, I'm getting her name wrong probably, do you think that at the end of the day, this shows they're biased? Do you think that this made Jack Dorsey, Twitter, and Vijaya, whatever her name is, look absolutely wrong and bad? Do you think that Tim Pool did a good job? I've heard some people criticizing Tim Pool, saying he didn't push back hard enough, which maybe in some situations, like that whole Alex thing, I would have liked him seeing him push back, saying, well, hang on, no, he's talking about self-defense there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.